Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Broken Shores role-playing game. This will be gameplay number 3. And in this video, we are going to fast forward until we find an interesting location, because I'm pretty sure that you guys don't want to have a whole bunch of gameplay videos where all we do is explore ocean with sort of minimal events. So what we're going to do is we are going to follow Kerenga, but I will be fast forwarding the process of exploration until we find something worthy of watching in these videos. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, ring the bell, add some comments as you watch, and hopefully enjoy this video. Now, before we begin, a couple of things. First of all, the expansion Egrastea Reborn is now available. I will put the link to the DriveThru page down below so you can now get yourselves this expansion. That's the first thing. The second thing is regarding skills and upgrading and improving skills. There have been, I think, a couple of comments saying that I forgot to mark down skills for the improvement role. Well, actually I didn't, because in the rules it states that you mark a skill for improvement if you roll below the associated attributes. So for example, crafting is a dex skill. So if I roll below 15, then I should get the improvement. However, that would cause improvement to be extremely slow. And Alex, the designer, has replied and basically said, yeah, I think that's a bit too slow. We're going to change that. So with the designer's blessing, we can now mark skills for the potential improvement roll if you succeed. But you can only mark the attribute box for, again, potential increase later, if you roll below the attribute. So with my crafting, I did succeed in the roll, but I did not roll below 15. So I've marked it here so that maybe after this video, I'm not going to do it after every video, but maybe after this video, I will make a improvement check for crafting. But because I didn't roll below 15, I do not shade in one of the attribute boxes. But hopefully that will make improvement and development, evolution, I can't speak, evolution of your character a little bit faster now. Right, where were we? Well, Kerenga had just found some pilgrims. Let me get my journal, hang on a sec. So we've now done 3 days. We're about to start day 4. On the 3rd day, we did meet those Tumos pilgrims who were very helpful. But I then got a bit greedy, decided to do some fishing as well, and lost my fishing rod because I fumbled. Because of course I did. However, we shall have to see how it goes. And like I say, what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to be playing through, making notes of every day, but we will fast forward on the video to when we find something interesting. So I will come back once we've found something. Not sure how long it's going to take. It could be the next hex. Day 4, we are moving into hex 249, which is this one here. There could be something there. Remember, on a roll of 1, it's an island. On a roll of 2 to 10, it's ocean. But we could find ruins and derelicts on the ocean as well. But when that happens, we're going to come back. Right, hopefully it won't be too long. Right, we're going to be moving into 249. So first thing we need to do is to check the temperature, precipitation, and wind. Right, the temperature is, for day 4, temperature is a 1, normal. The precipitation is an 11, light drizzle. Okay, we have some rain. So temperature is normal. And we got a light, drizzle. So that means we get water. If I can get some fish, then I can combine into rations. Right, the wind. How's the wind today? We've had moderate, strong, and strong. Right, what's the wind going to be like today? We get a 61. A 61 is a breeze. Sweet. No damage, no worries. Right, now, my raft, again here, tokens courtesy of 2 Minute Tabletop. My raft is on full hull points, which is 20 to begin with. After every 5 hexes, it takes 1 damage through wear and tear, which I'm then going to have to figure out how to repair because I haven't got a crafting station yet. But I've got 4 hexes shaded, but technically I've only explored 3. Now that's not a forest, that's supposed to represent a wall of water. This was toxic. This was that, what was the actual terminology they used? Putrid water. So you go there, you've got to check vitality or take D10 damage. That wasn't good, but we're going to 249. So, we're now done with the weather and the wind. We can get rid of that for the moment. We're going to do findings and potential encounters, and then I've got my 3 shifts. Every day's broken down into 3 shifts. Right, so we sailed to 249, the last shift of day 3. So now we've got to find the findings, right? Exploration, ocean exploration. We're going to check the wind strength. We've done that. Determine the hex type. Right, on a 1, it's an island. On a 2 to 10, it is ocean. What do we find? Okay, we're back. We didn't have to fast forward very far. Look, we found an island. I could have put money on that happening, couldn't I? Right, we found an island. Let me quickly shade that in. So 249 is an island. Maybe I should have gone green. Right, shaded the island. Put it on the back here, 249 Island A, because I'll need a way of identifying them. But this is Island A. Now, Ocean Exploration Hex. Learn more about the hex by either generating an island, yes, or determining what you find in the open sheet. Okay, so we're not going to be rolling for findings. We're going to be creating an island to explore. 4, check for encounter, roll a d12. Okay, well that actually doesn't happen because when you come to the island exploration, you're going to be checking for encounters, and it's more likely, unfortunately, but there's a new set of steps now. Once we find an island, we can get rid of this one. We can go from, again, I'll show you it in the book. We can go from the exploration procedures for the ocean. We can forget that for the moment, and the derelicts. And we can now start looking at the island exploration. Right, couple of things. Island weather, to find the typical weather on any particular day. Well, we've technically already done the weather for today, for day 4. But if I stay here for more than 1 day, then I'll be rolling on this table instead of those other weather tables. Because on the island, I don't care about the wind or anything. So, also, something I think that was included after the dungeon dive video was the fact that when you create the island, the first hex where you land is automatically a jungle hex. From there, you'll be rolling randomly to see what each hex is going to be, but you're going to be exploring the island hex by hex. So when you first encounter an island, determine its size, the number of sub-hexes. Well, what's that then? Well, you have this island exploration sheet, which I've printed a couple out. So what you're going to do is you're going to, again, it's listed down here. You're going to determine its size, and then you're going to draw an island shape comprising of that many hexes. D20 plus 10. And every time we move into a new hex on the island, we have to roll to determine what the type of terrain is and what we find in there. So, okay, let's quickly go over it. So, size, determine the type of terrain. First hex is always jungle. Choose an action from the available ones. Okay, so the actions are to make camp, to explore, to forage where you can get rations, hunt or fish, again where you can get rations, interact, so you can use this if you find a ruin or if you find a settlement and you're kind of interacting with that separate location kind of thing, and scavenge for materials where you can find crafting supplies. Hells yeah, I know that I'm going to be doing that. But yeah, one other thing is you've got to end the day back at your base camp, or you've got to make survival checks and lose rations or hit points. That's a problem. Also, there could be hazards and obstacles that we find on the way, which is a problem. Setting camp requires 2 crafting supplies. I ain't got none. So one of the first things I'm going to have to do is actually scavenge for materials. And with that, I can then try to make camp. Now, a little bit of confusion here. Part 3 and part 5 seem to be the same. 3 says choose an action from the available ones, which are here. And then 5, each shift, pick one of the actions available. The day is still split into 3 shifts. So I could scavenge for materials. And then if I find stuff, I could then set camp, and then I've got a 3rd action where possibly I could... No, but the thing is, if I want to explore, I ain't going to be able to get back to camp because there's only 3 actions, so possibly sleep. All right, so check for encounters. Every time you enter a new hex, you must roll d10. A result of 1 indicates you run into potential trouble. Of course there is. Okay. Well, first of all, let us make our island. Let's find out how big our island is. D20 plus 10. 30. I've had a 1 and I've had a 20. I mean, at least the dice gods are somehow balanced. Right, so it's going to be a size 30 island. It's going to be big. I'm not going to need this terrain board anymore. I'm going to have to use some other boards for the terrain. Right, I am going to construct the island. Can I fit 30 hexes here? I'm going to have to check. But I'm going to create my island and I'm going to start my exploration. Be right back. Right, we have our island here. 30 hexes. Yes, there was... Basically, there were 31 hexes in here, complete hexes. So I managed to fill up everything except for 1 hex. So it's like a little bay that I've kind of come to. But when you find an island approaching, you've got to make a sailing check. Otherwise, your raft or your boat hits reefs and corals and takes d6 damage. So, get my character sheet. Right, how are we with sailing? I did put some points into it. 35. Maybe not enough points. So, we are going to make a sailing check. We need a 35 or less. And, oh my God. That's another fumble, isn't it? I think that's another fumble. Hang on. I think 96. 96, I think, yep, 96 to 100 is a fumble. So I fumbled my sailing check, which means I probably take maximum damage. Not a good start. I was getting excited because it's like, right, I'm going to fast forward till we find an island or something interesting. Pop, an island straight away. And now my sailing, it's not very good. It's like I say, because it's a fumble, I'm basically going to say that I take the maximum damage with 6 damage. Oh no! So this could be a problem when I go back to sea, because then my resilience to the wind will be less. So 6 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my hull is only at 14 now. Not good. Plus, I have now explored 4 hexes. So once I go back to C, I can do 1 more hex, and then I'm going to take another damage. That's really not good at all, but there you go. The dice gods giveth, the dice gods taketh. Right, so we have our island. We come to shore. Look, I changed the board. We're not at sea anymore. I know there's a lot of stuff here that shouldn't be here, but it's okay. It's the only board which kind of shows a beach that I have to hand. But we've parked, is that the right word to use? We've managed to get our raft to the shore. Land, I fall to the ground, kissing the sand and then spitting it all out. Ah, solid ground. And I'm saying that this is going to be our first hex. First hex is going to be jungle. It's automatic. So I'm going to write that down here. Now, because we have a very large island, in fact, it is the maximum size when we are doing the random generation, I don't think there's going to be a lot of space here to put all the details. So once again, I will be relying on my journal to be putting down all of the main sort of information, especially if we find stuff like ruins and settlements. So, encounter, I've put a cross here because unless we explore, there may not be an encounter. I've still got my 3 shifts. Like I said, I think I'm going to try and gather materials, set camp, and then sleep. I think that's the thing that we're going to try to do. So as I land, there may be something in the vicinity. So, okay. So let us roll. Let's roll for an encounter. It is a D10 1. I don't want. And it gives me a 9. Thank you very much. No encounter. Excellent. If I move to another hex, I have to roll again. But I'm not going to be doing that today. Today is gathering materials, trying to get some crafting supplies. I'm going to then use some of that to make me camp. And hopefully nothing goes wrong. And then I'll sleep. Right. So we've created the island. We are in jungle terrain, even though it doesn't look very jungly. This is jungle terrain. Right, so the first thing I want to do, again, I'm not doing the weather because I rolled for weather earlier. So for my first shift, I am going to scavenge. So scavenge for materials. How many do I find? 2d6, okie doke. 2d6 and we get 6. Okay, average, not bad. It's okay. So we get 6 crafting supplies. So I'm going to write that down here because I have put. So we've got 6 crafting supplies. That's my first shift. Now, hang on a minute. Hang on. I've got to take a ration, haven't I? Today's an even day, so I've got to take a ration. And I will update here. So we've now got, again, apologies for the shaking when I do the erasing. 7 rations left. What's next? So we've got 2d6 crafting supplies. Right, that's the first shift. The second shift, I want to try and camp. So second shift, I'm going to try and set camp. Now, setting camp is going to cost me 2 crafting supplies. And what I'm going to do is I'm then going to make a survival check. Now, if I have other characters with me, if you're playing this as a group with other people or as a group with a GM, then other characters can assist and they'll give you +10 to the check. Failing the check means there is some sort of mishap, in which case I've got to roll here and I've got to try and set camp at a different hex the next day. So I can't try to set camp in the same hex more than once, which is a little bit of a problem. Now, the good news is my survival is okay. My survival is 55. I have already marked it for upgrade, which I'll be doing at the end of this video. So my crafting is 55. I'm getting no other modifiers. Let's see if the dice are generous to me. Of course they ain't. I fail. At least it ain't a fumble this time. So I failed to set camp. I've now got to do a mishap, which is a D10. What goes wrong? 2. Mosquitoes and other insects make your resting time an absolute nightmare. -1 constitution until you get proper rest. So I can't set camp. I can't set camp. It fails and I roll a 2 on the mishap. That ain't good. That's not good. So I'm getting a -1 to me constitution until I can get proper rest. Well, I was planning to sleep afterwards. I can sleep on me raft. So I'm getting a -1 to me constitution, but I am sleeping for the 3rd shift and I'm going to sleep on me raft. I know it might be cheating, but I sleep, then I get my constitution back. But I can't set camp in Hex 1. So on the next day, after I sleep, I wake up. The next day, I'm going to have to move to a new hex and try to set camp again, which isn't good at all. So I try to set camp and fail. That ain't good. Right. So day 4 is over. We found an island. We couldn't set camp. But yeah, we did sleep, so we got back our constitution. We are now at day 5. Right, so day 5, we don't have to take another ration because we took one yesterday. We're on Island A. I'm labeling this as Island A, which is in Hex 249. Weather, right, so for an island, it's a bit simpler in terms of the weather because you don't have to worry about the wind strength or anything like that. So you're just rolling a 2d6 here. So what's the weather like today? Yesterday was a light drizzle, got a little bit of water. Okay, it's hot. It's a hot day. Doesn't say anything about rain, so it's a hot day, so we've got to take it easy. But I do have to move hexes because I failed the set camp. So I've got to move to another hex and set camp. Now, where do I want to move? Do I want to stay by the coast for my base camp or do I want to move inland? So I'm trying to have the camp so that it's easily reachable. So I don't have to keep making survival checks and stuff. I think I'll move to here. I'll move inland 1 hex and maybe set up a camp here. I think. Yeah. So for day 5, we've got shift 1, 2, and shift 3. So shift 1, I am going. I mean, I could do with some more materials. That's a point. I used 2, didn't I? So I've only got 4 left. But I also need to set a camp. So I'm going to move to this hex, set camp, and sleep again. Not very productive, is it? But that's what we're going to be doing. So shift 1, we're going to explore. And we're going to be moving to hex number 2. So hex 2 is here. We have to roll to see what type of terrain it has. So we're currently in the jungle, so we're rolling to see what it is. We're rolling a d20. We get, what is it with all these 1s? It's still jungle. If you are wondering why there's so many 1s, it's me. It is me. So hex 2 is still jungle. I've got to roll for encounter, haven't I? Every time you go into a hex, You've got to roll D10 for an encounter. Please, no! 9 again. Okay, so still no encounter. Excellent. Right, so we've moved to a new hex, and now we've got to find out what is in the hex. So we've got to go to the explore action before I can try and set up camp. This is still in the first shift. So explore, we're looking for prominent features and intriguing spots. This is done by traveling to a new hex and rolling on the findings table, which is now this one, a lot smaller. So what are we going to get for our exploration? What's in hex 2? We got a 54, but there's something there, because only on a 1 to 10 there's nothing. So a 54. You see the remains of old wreckage, rotten wood and rusted scraps of metal spread around what's left of the ship's hull. You find D6 crafting supplies. Oh, thank you very much. Love it. How many do we get? 3. Average again. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. I'm not going to... So we got 7 crafting supplies. Again, I'm going to be using 2 to try and set up camp, and I. Next, we are going to try and set camp again. It's going to be another 2 crafting supplies. Oh dear, so that's now, I'm down to 5. Right, set camp again. We're going to try and set camp here. Survival check. Right, my survival is 55. Oh, did I use crafting? I was pointing at crafting last time. Sorry, it's survival. It's the same stat. It's the same value. So survival 55. Come on. And I can't rest because I'm not by my raft. Maybe I should have stayed by the coast. Oh no, no, it doesn't want me to make camp anywhere. So set camp. I'm just putting this down so I know that I can't come back and try and set camp again. Oh my goodness. So we fail again. What am I going to roll? Oh, what am I going to roll for the mishap? D10. A 1. Oh no. You are too noisy while setting up camp, attracting some unwanted attention. Roll on the island combat encounters table. No! Mishap. Oh no. Oh, okay, you guys wanted to see the combat rules in action, didn't you? Right, okay. So, roll on the island combat encounters table. Now, I'm going to have to change the board because Hex 2 is not on the coast. Right, combat encounters. What do we come across? It is a D12. What is with all the ones? Cannibal. Oh no, cannibals. It's plural. It says not cannibal. It says cannibals. Number D4 plus 2. Oh, come on. I want a 1 now. Of course. Those of you who said, oh, you've been lucky. You've been lucky. Yeah, see what I mean? It comes back and bites me. The dice gods are trolling me. Look, I'm up against 6 cannibals. I've got to run. I've got to run. Oh. Uh-oh. So, we come across 6 times cannibals. That really isn't good. Again, I have actually printed out some of these pages just to help protect my book. Right, let's have a look. Cannibals. Humanoid, 20% chance of dropping mundane. 10 hit points, no armor. 50% attack, D6 plus 1 pierce. A dodge of 50. Ooh, they can parry as well. Emaciated, crazed individuals lusting after human flesh. Yeah. I'm up against 6 of them. Let me have a little... Because I want to show you guys the combat rules, but not if it's going to make Kerenga dead. Give me a second, I'm going to think about this. Right, yeah, change the board. Since we are inland in the jungle, I've used sort of jungle-ish board here. This is Kerenga, and then these are the cannibales. Yes, I know they're skeletons. I don't actually have any cannibal tokens to hand, but I'm thinking cannibals may sort of wear face paint that's kind of skull-like. They may wear bones over their sort of tribal dress. So these are cannibals. And of course, I rolled the maximum, which is 6. Now, at this point, normally for combat, where is it? Where's the page? Here. So normally the first thing you'd be doing is determining surprise. However, I did take the watchful talent, which means I can't be surprised and I get a +5 to my initiative. But that's not going to be enough because cannibals have a 50% spear attack, so they're doing d6 +1. Dodge of 50, perception of 40, and they can parry, which is a bit weird because I can't parry with my spear, it won't let me. And there's 6 of them, they've got 10 hit points each, they're doing d6 +1 damage. I fear for my life. But the other thing is, you also have to roll to find out if the encounter is harder, easier, standard. So we've also got to roll this, which I'll do now. What's the encounter difficulty? When you run into a combat situation, first thing you do is determine the encounter's difficulty. So let's have a look and see how tough are these guys. Oh, you swine there. 18. Elite. So they're getting +5 hit points, they're doing +1 damage, and there's also another +10 loot chance. Oh, that's wonderful. Now they've got a 30% chance of dropping mundane loot. They've got 15 hit points each, and they're now doing d6 +2. Oh, I would love to show you the combat rules here, but that would be suicide on the part of Kerenga. Combat, I have with my spear, which I can't parry with, but they can, a 49% chance, and they have a 50% chance. So it's not as if I'm a lot better at combat than these guys, and they outnumber me 6-1. That's the first thing. Second thing, I could try and run away. See, my athletics is only 29, and it's a strength base. Now, they don't have the athletics skill listed down here. So their strength is 10, so they've got a base chance of 10%. I mean, they could be fit, they could be athletic, but, you know, being cannibals, the diet choice isn't very good for the body, so, you know. So if I give them a 10% chance of athletics, again, I'm rolling for 6. The other option is to try and hide. I can't... Could I do that? I think I'm going to roll... I could roll on the Oracle to see whether I have a chance to hide before they arrive. Maybe I hear them coming. But then the problem is I'm going to be rolling my stealth... I'm going to be rolling my stealth against their perception. Now, their perception is... not bad, actually. It's 40. Oh dear, this could be the end. I think what I'm going to do, right, like I say, my athletics is only 29. I don't have a lot of faith in terms of running. I've got a higher chance of hiding, but then there's a chance they're going to spot me. So it's 29 against 10 or 75 against 40. Oh dear, I really didn't need this. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Oracle. Where's the Oracle? All right, Oracle. Basically, I'm asking the question, do I have a chance of hiding before the cannibals kind of emerge? Maybe I heard them first. I'm thinking, I mean, there's 6 of them. They don't have a stealth skill. Now, stealth is based on dex. Their dex is 10. So I don't think they're going to be particularly stealthful, so I'll probably hear them. But do I have a chance to hide before they arrive? How likely do I think it is? I think I'm going to give myself... I think because I don't think it's likely or unlikely, I'm just going to give myself a 50-50 chance. So on a 10 or higher, I have a chance to hide. I've still got to roll for the stealth, but this is just giving me the opportunity. If I fail, I have to run. So, 10 plus. Yes, I do have a chance to hide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move slightly back and try and hide in this this sort of growth here, this undergrowth here. There's vegetation. And then they arrive on the scene en masse because they heard something. Yeah, so now we have to do an opposed roll against these elite cannibals. I'm actually going to write that down because it sounds tougher. These guys are elite. So they have a perception of 40 and I have a stealth of 75. And I've got to roll 6 times. Oh no. I'm going to have to leg it, and there's no way I'm going to make 6 rolls, is it? See, with an opposed roll, both you and your opponent roll dice. In this case, it's going to be stealth against perception. And whoever succeeds and rolls higher wins, unless you roll a crit. Oh dear, I really don't like my chances of this. This could be the end for Kerenga. We shall have to see. We'll have to see. Right. So we have, there you go, got some dice for the cannibals, got some dice from me. So it's going to be an opposed roll. So we're going to start with the guy here. Oops, stealth versus perception. Oh, here we go. Oh, you swine. So they get 75, so they fail. Yeah, their perception is 40. But I roll 95. Oh, hang on, no, a fumble is 96. So I just missed the fumble. Oh, this isn't good at all. But it says here, opposed checks. If there's a tie of any kind, with both players failing their checks, for example, the character with the highest relevant skill score is considered the victor. I have a skill of 75. They have a skill of 40. So, even though I'm so close to fumbling, I did actually succeed in this, although I don't get the skill boast. But he doesn't see me, is what it means. Second guy. Oh, God, this is stressful. Right, so I get a 44, which means I succeed. They get a 59, which means they fail. And because I succeeded, I can try for an improvement, if I survive. The third guy. Okay, so 59, they fail. Oh no. Oh, okay, it's okay. I keep reading it wrong. 39, I succeed. Okay, so he doesn't spot me. Next guy. Now, this guy, I used an armored skeleton because maybe he's the leader. Come on. Uh-oh. All right, they get a 16. I get a 39. We both succeed, but because I rolled higher, I win. That's how it works. It's a way of reflecting how having a higher skill gives you a more chance of succeeding, not just passing, but succeeding, because you can actually roll higher numbers, yeah, and win, obviously. So, okay, he doesn't see me either. Okay, This guy, they get a 65, I get a 76. Oh, I failed by 1. They failed by loads, but because my skill is higher, I succeed. Right, we are down. We're down to the last guy. I don't want to say anything, but you know what's going to happen, don't you? Yeah. One more left. If I... one more left, and I can survive. Oh, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything, but you know, you just know. Oh, hang on. Oh, hang on. Oh, the dice are good to me. They failed. They all failed. I think one of them passed, didn't they? But I succeed. Oh my word, that was stressful. That was very, very stressful. All of them are moving around, searching, looking, seeing what the hell's going on. What's that noise? So these guys are searching all over the clearing. They're looking around. They can't see anything. Luckily, they don't spot any of my tools or supplies that I was using to set up camp. But luckily, so luckily, they don't see me. Oh. And they disappear back into, not me, I stay there. They all disappear back into the jungle. Oh my word, that was very stressful. Oh, I better get my survival increased. Sorry, what did I do survival for? Sorry, I'm sorry, that's wrong. I've been screwing up my survival rolls. It's stealth that I succeeded in. Right, okay. So I managed to hide, which is the kind of the plan for this character. Don't fight, just hide. But again, I'm sorry. We've in this situation there was no way I was going to win this combat, so we'll have to wait a little bit before we see the combat system in play. Right, Kerenga, well done, mate. You hid. You can't say no. Right, okay. But I did fail to set up camp again, so I've got to find another hex to set up camp. That's really not good. Now, there are rules. Let me just go back and find the sheet. Now, there are rules that if you don't go back to camp or set up a camp, you get punished. Now, in the first hex, I basically said that I was going to sleep on the raft, so it just counts like any sort of normal ocean sleeping. But now that I'm inland, I actually need to go back to camp. But I can, can't I? But then I'll suffer fatigue. Okay, so here it is. Traveling. Characters must end the day back at their base camp or be forced to perform a survival check. Failure means they lose either 2 hit points or 1 ration per hex from their current position to their camp's location. This is also the case when a game session ends and characters haven't managed to make it back to camp on their own on time. So, I mean, I do have 1 shift left. I could use that shift, but again, I don't have a camp. I could use this to go back to that hex 1, and then, no, but I'm still getting the fatigue, aren't I? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sleep in hex 2, basically just think myself so bloomin' lucky, I'm just going to hunker down where I am and sleep. But that means I've got to make a survival check. Right, I'm doing so well with my survival checks. 55. Oh no, I'll keep reading it that way. Yay, we succeeded. Yes, excellent. So we succeeded at a survival check. So I don't take any damage, I don't have to waste any rations. Excellent, right. That is the end of day 5. And again, to keep these videos at a manageable length, we are going to call it a day 5 here. So we managed to hide from all 6. Right, again, I'm sorry I didn't show you the combat rules, but there was no way I was really going to survive that combat, not against 6 of them, especially when their attack values were higher than mine. Was their dodge value higher than mine as well? What's their dodge? Their dodge is 50. My dodge is... See, each one of them had better stats than me. So there was no way I was going to win that fight, especially when they could parry with their spears and I couldn't. So yeah, I managed to hide. Maybe if I come across an opponent that I think I can win, maybe in the next episode, we'll see how the combat system works. Right, guys, so Kerenga is currently in Hex 2. We've got to find another Hex to set up camp, and that'll be in the next episode. Once again, follow the link below for the rulebook and also for the expansion, which is now available. We will go on to gameplay number, what would it be, 4 next? And we will continue exploring the island, trying to find something worth exploring. Maybe some kind of landmark, a settlement. Hopefully not the settlement with the cannibals, or possibly even a ruin. So, from Kerenga and myself, thank you once again for watching. If you do enjoy my videos, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Would really appreciate that. And I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care. Stay safe. Cheers.